Hey y'all, welcome back to another testimonial vlog. If y'all watched the last one, thank you for watching. I'm trying my best to just keep pushing these out before the end of the year. So we're on August, y'all. So I'm testifying for the month of August. I'm only gonna do the first 15 days, very similar to what I did in the last one, because one, it really helps for me to like break it up to get it done quicker. And two, the videos won't be as long. So there you go. So I'm excited to just hop right in. So without further ado, let's start on August 1st. So it was a work from home day. I fasted for the Increase fast. Y'all already know we do that from the 1st through the 5th with the Increase 365 group. I was just thanking God for getting me through day one and hoping that he would give me the strength to get through day two. I did present the workshop. Well, technically not a workshop, but for MM LaFleur, my job, I had asked my manager if I could basically present on each collection and share like my thoughts on what business casual is, business professional, and all the things. So I did that for the first time in August. And although I couldn't finish, I was thankful that I was able to do it, one, and two, it felt like the stylists were inspired. So I was able to give them some new color combinations. I was able to give them a different perspective on what I thought, certain pieces stood for in the collection. So they loved it. And we're now in November, so I've done it 3 times already. So it's been really, really cool. And they just love my creativity when it comes to the presentations. It looks like it was a productive day. So after that, I was able to get some work done. I posted about the podcast. I'm assuming I was talking about the Stylist Rant podcast. Scheduled an email for SCB, responded to some emails. I did my presentation for the Lunch and Learn. So I did a Lunch and Learn with the Monument Women's Creative Alliance in August. I believe it was August. When was that? It was early August. We'll talk about it in here. I want to say it was the next day. But I was able to do my presentation for that. So I was just praying for the right women to be in the room. I was praying that if my clients were in the room, that they were eager to move forward and book sessions with me, and just praying that, I was on time, because it's very on brand for me to be late. But other than that, that's basically what August 1st was about. So there you go. All right, y'all. So like I said, on August, Jordan, come on. The time is ticking.
But I'm trying to kiss you.
Why would you do that with your dirty hands? Did you check the weather?
For what?
So on August 2nd, I actually did host the Lunch and Learn. So I figured it was coming up. And it was such a great experience, y'all. So as I mentioned, I'm pretty sure in previous testimonial vlogs, I wanted to get back into speaking this year, which I feel like I've been doing really, really good at. I was a part of a summit. I'm about to be speaking at an event on Saturday. I have a virtual engagement on December 3rd. And I spoke on the news in January. I had my workshops where I was speaking. So just really getting the practice in, because come 2025, I want to get paid to speak. I don't want to, although I love sharing my expertise and although I'm very passionate about speaking, I want to get paid for my time. So the more I do it, the easier it becomes for me. And then of course, the more practice I get, so that when people do reach out and or I propose an opportunity to speak, I can then get paid. So yeah, aside from that, the Lunch and Learn was great. This was with the Monument Women's Creative Alliance. I was very comfortable. I was confident. And it was about maybe 6 women in the room. It wasn't that many, but I love intimate events. Although I think this one on Saturday, I don't know how many people are going to be in the room. I actually need to reach out to my point of contact, because I don't know. So I'm hoping that I will be prepared and comfy. But other than that, I was saying in my journal that I needed to start asking for testimonials and just feedback on the speaking engagements while I'm in the room, because it's kind of hard to grab people's attention after the fact. And it shouldn't be, but people just forget about it after it's over. So I want to start doing that. My intern, of course, was able to come with me. She got some really cute content of me, which I'm going to pop up on the screen. Just took some video, some pictures, and all the things just to capture the moments. After that, I ended up going to Jordan's. Well, I treated myself to lunch. I can't exactly remember where I took myself. Anyway, I treated myself to lunch and then I went to Jordan's. He was actually presenting at Artscape. So that night we went out to Artscape, saw his work in the gallery. I can't remember what gallery it was, but it was right across from Motor House, if you're familiar with Baltimore. And it sucks because the Artscape, every year for the past couple of years, it's been raining. Artscape is something that is a Baltimore thing. It's an outdoor festival slash just event where art is showcased. Different types of like installations are put up, and different things people can do outdoors. But for the last couple of years, it's been raining. So of course, this past Artscape, pouring down raining, flooding, and it's so crazy because it was sunny. I thought maybe it wasn't. No, it was sunny all week. It was sunny all week. And then I think it didn't really start raining until the weekend, which of course Artscape is Friday to Sunday. So once we got into the gallery, it started pouring down raining, y'all. I don't think I brought an umbrella, or if I did, it just didn't help because it was raining that bad. But it was still a good time. We kind of waited out the rain a little bit in the gallery. But then that night, once we left the gallery, it was still kind of raining a little bit. And of course, I had sandals on. We ended up going to a restaurant that I had never been to before, but apparently Jordan has and a lot of other people have, but it's called the Royal Blue here in Baltimore. And I don't know how long they've been around, but their food was actually, I didn't get their food. We only got drinks. So it was me, Jordan, Zach, and his girlfriend, Michaela. And after the gallery, we had all went to Royal Blue to just get a few drinks and to listen to music. It was packed in there. They were playing really good music. And their drinks were good. So that was a really good night to such a rainy day. Oh, I also said in here that I spoke to Tonay about her being a part of the Stylist Rant podcast. So like I mentioned in the previous testimonial, Jessica was no longer able to be a part. So I didn't really want to do it myself. So I wanted a co-host. So I figured Tonay would be the best person. So I reached out to her about that. And of course, she was excited. So I'm glad that we were able to talk about that. So on August 3rd, apparently I wasn't able to sleep and I was really tired. But I had woke up early to get my nails done and my toes done. I think this was the blue color that I had said that I had experimented with, and I absolutely loved it. I'm gonna see if I could pop in a picture of them here. But aside from that, it was a really cute day. It was Saturday, although the weather was not that great. Like I said, it had been raining all weekend. We had quite a bit to do. So I was out of the nail salon by 12:30, went back to Jordan's to chill, journal, catch up on my Increase 365 messages. And I also helped him clean his apartment that day. And then we got ready to go to my mom's friend's son's going away party. So my mom's friend, Miss Denise, is a family friend. She has a son named Jalen. He is, I want to say he's like between the age of 25 and 27. I really can't remember. He's not that much younger than me, but he's graduated college and now he's a coach for a college, I want to say basketball team, if I'm not mistaken. I can't exactly remember what the college is, but he's moving to that state to be the coach for that team. So big congrats to Jalen. And his mom threw him a going away party. So that's where we went that evening. I wanted to go because I hadn't seen Jalen in a while, number one, and I hadn't seen Miss Denise in a while. So I'm glad I was able to see them before he left. Of course, there was good food. It was a lot of people. And funny enough, Jordan actually made a connection there. And it's crazy because he didn't even want to go. He did not want to go to this going away party. But I dragged him out to go. I didn't want to drive myself because it was raining on and off, and I really didn't want to drive. So I asked him if he could. So he ended up making a connection there for a potential mural that I believe he's going to get by the end of the year. So I'm super excited, and I'm glad that he went, because if he would have never gone to that going away party, he would have never made that connection. So aside from that, once we left there, we actually went to Black at Night. Shout out to Black at Flea Market in Bree. They hosted an event at UB Blake where they had vendors, they had the bar, they had music. So we shopped around, of course, said our highs and hellos to everybody that we knew. got some drinks and things, and yeah, it was a good night. At that point the rain had stopped, so that was perfect, and that was it. So on August 4th, Jordan and I woke up and went to church. I'm glad we were able to make it because Jordan lives a little further away from my church than obviously I do. So sometimes it can be a little hard to make it on time. I don't know if we were on time, but we definitely made it. So that was a plus. And the sermon was good. Once we left there, I had to stop and get some windshield wiper fluid. And y'all, I got 2 windshield wiper fluids and air fresheners, all for $18, y'all. Apparently they were having a sale. I had no idea they were having a sale. I don't go to AutoZone or Advanced Auto Parts like that often. Whatever, I don't know which one it was. So when I saw that they were having a sale, I only knew that was God because he knew that I needed some windshield wiper fluid. So I'm glad I was able to get that for a steal. I said that was crazy. I had to stop at Walgreens to pick up some razors. And then when we got back to Jordan's, I worked on my vlog and finished editing that. And I was thankful because I was finally able to move on to the next vlog, the next thing that was in the queue. Like I said previously, I had a bunch of content that I needed to edit. And sometimes it can get really overwhelming trying to remember all the content you have to edit and all the things. So I'm glad that I was able to get that done and just move on to the next thing. And then after that, Jordan had his closing ceremony at Artscape. So his work was in the gallery from Friday to Sunday for the entire time. So we went to that. It was supposed to start, I think it was from 3 to 6 if I'm not mistaken, but because we were fasting, I wanted to make sure that I ate before we left. So I broke fast at 3, I was able to eat, and we were ready to leave by 4. But we ran into some traffic. I think it was like an accident or something on 83, which is always an accident on 83. We were literally in traffic, y'all, for like 30 minutes. And Jordan does not even live that far from the gallery. So he was kind of upset about it because I felt like it was kind of my fault. Sorry. But I really wanted to make sure I ate before we left because I knew we weren't going to eat while we were out. So yeah, but we made it just in time, to be honest. When we got there, although we didn't have much time left, he was able to get some video content of himself. One of the videographers, I think, recorded him, he got some pictures taken. He still made some really good connections. So it all worked out, and it didn't rain. So it ended up being a nice end to his Artscape weekend. And then we came back here, we had a glass of wine, and then we made dinner. So it was a nice Sunday to end out the rainy weekend. Okay, y'all, so on August 5th, it was the last day of the increase fast, and in my journal I wrote that it really wasn't too bad. I'm glad I was able to make it through, and I'm glad that it ended up being a really successful fast. That morning I did my usual morning routine, started my work day, only had one appointment scheduled, so majority of the day was dedicated to like administrative work and all the things. I had my weekly meeting with my intern, and I asked her to do a few tasks. I was able to post I was able to send an email to the women who attended the Lunch and Learn, and I posted about the Lunch and Learn. So in my journal, I was just hoping that I would gain more opportunity for speaking from that post, and also that I would hopefully get some testimonials or some sales from sending emails out to the women that I had connected to, and just some connections. But I only got one person to email me back, y'all, so it is what it is. What else? I was able to schedule a blog post, I finished a presentation for work, and I was able to work out, which is a plus. Once I closed out my day, I actually went to Ria's because we wanted to do a movie night. So I forgot how we were talking about that. I think it may have been when we did the at-home brunch at her place, but I think I mentioned something about a movie night, or she did, and I had brought up the Proud Family movie because that's one of my favorite movies and I hadn't seen it in a while. So she's like, we should have a movie night. So we ended up having a movie night at her place that night, and we watched the Proud Family movie. I believe she cooked as always, and we had dinner and things. So it was really fun. It was really, really nice. I love stuff like that. And I had to let her know that I wasn't going to be able to attend her birthday trip. So she was planning a birthday trip. Her birthday is October 5th, and she was planning a birthday trip for the end of September to go to Florida. which she ended up not going either because we all know, the weather in Florida during that time was crazy. There was a lot of flooding, a lot of rain, hurricanes and all of that. So she ended up not going either. So I had to tell her that at the time I wouldn't be able to attend because I just couldn't really budget for it. And there were other things that I was planning for. So, but she wasn't upset. And we ended up, of course, celebrating once she got back anyway. We ended up celebrating for her birthday anyway. I was telling her that we would celebrate in my journal. I was telling her that we would celebrate once she got back, but she never ended up going. But we celebrated regardless. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so on August 6th, I woke up a little later than expected, and apparently I had just been really, really tired this week. But I had to get myself together because I had a meeting with Dr. Charlene at 10 a.m. Dr. Charlene was the woman who conducted the Lunch and Learn that I had went to the month before I hosted my Lunch and Learn for the Monument Women's Creative Alliance. And I wanted to connect with her because I loved her Lunch and Learn, and I wanted her to be a part of part 4 of the workshop series, and I wanted to call it Affirm Your Style. But after we connected, she mentioned that she was booked for the remainder of the year and she couldn't do it. But she gave me some suggestions on how I could possibly conduct the workshop series moving forward. So she was just giving me some advice and making some suggestions. She suggested I get my coaching certification, which I never thought of, but after her mentioning it, I said to myself, oh, that would probably be awesome for me to have for my styling business and my coaching business. So that was something I thought about. And then I was saying in my journal, with her not being available to do part 4 with me, like, what was I gonna do? I really wanted to end out the year with 4 parts to the workshop series, not 3. But of course, I ended the workshop series with 3. And in December, I'm actually hosting one of my older workshops for free. That's virtual. But aside from that, in my journal, I was just hoping and praying that I would be able to figure out what part 4 would be. But as y'all know, I ended up not doing a part 4. But I do still love the idea of Affirm Your Style. So I'm hoping that I can actually do that next year, essentially, when I do decide to do the workshop series again. I finished up my presentation for work. So because I couldn't finish it during the work meeting earlier that week, I ended up hopping back on the Zoom with my colleagues and showcasing the remainder of the presentation to them. So they really enjoyed it. I was also able to work out, and I did a venue walkthrough for a space that I thought was going to be the space for part 3 of the workshop series. This space was beautiful, y'all. My intern actually found it, and it was one of the spaces that she had sourced to send to one of our connections who was looking for a space. And the space was really, really nice, but they didn't have a TV and it was out of my budget, my price range. So I ended up obviously not using the space, but it was really, really cute, and I might be able to host something there later in life. We'll see. I came back to Jordan's. I edited a testimonial video from Kishana, my client who I had earlier this year. And I was just saying how I was excited to post that. I also started an email sequence for the new freebie that I was putting out. So I'm assuming this was the Capsule Wardrobe freebie, which has been out. So if you have not grabbed your copy of that, definitely click the link in the description box. I'll make sure that I post it there. And I was just excited that I was able to get all of that done. So it sounded like it was a productive August 6th. So on August 7th, apparently I had a really, really productive day. I was scheduled to work virtual appointments, but I didn't have any. So I ended up just having one meeting with my team. After my work meeting, I was able to record the perfume video. So y'all, I decided to do this perfume challenge, which I'm sure I talked about in a previous testimonial vlog. And I have been doing pretty good. I haven't gotten a perfume for the month of November yet, but I do plan on getting that before the month is out. But so far, I'm all caught up. And I'm thankful. So I was able to record the perfume video for the first half of the year, the first 6 months, and I was able to put that out. So I was happy about that. And then I was able to cross off a lot of tasks on my to-do list. I scheduled some emails, made my new freebie live, posted in the group chat, posted on social media, and started prepping more LTK content. And I was just saying that I love a productive day. We also fasted this day for Wealth Warfare Wednesday, so I'm glad that I was able to get through that. This day, I also went over Ria's house again because she hosted a Wing Wednesday. So she basically just ordered wings, I think from America's Best. I think she ordered like 3 different types of wings, had fries and stuff, and drinks. So we did that. It was a girls thing, so it was so cute. Ria's always hosting really cute events at her place, and that's one of the main reasons why I'm excited to get my own place as well, so that I can host people and have my friends over. And I feel like with that, I'll be able to just be able to build stronger relationships with my friends that I currently have. I feel like I've been kind of to myself, I'm not gonna lie. I've been kind of to myself lately, and it's just because I'm really focused on my business. I'm focused on what God has me doing, and I just haven't really been like seeing my friends as often as I want to. But I'm hoping that when I get my new space, that is gonna be the space where I invite my friends over. Like, girl, just come over. Like, let's talk. I'd rather have a face-to-face interaction than be on FaceTime. Unless like you live out of state, obviously you can't quickly come over. But like, I would prefer to have a face-to-face interaction with my friends as opposed to like texting or being on FaceTime or even Marco Polo. Sometimes that can get annoying. So I'm really looking forward to having my own space so I can host people more. But aside from that, Wing Wednesday was super cute. We haven't done it since, so I'm hoping that we're able to do it again soon. That was basically it. And I was just praying that that evening, which wasn't the 7th, that evening was August 8th, that I would have the confidence to conduct the panel at the Connecting the Dots workshop that Jordan and Creatively Mindful was hosting that following day. Because he asked me to be the MC / moderator, and when he originally asked me, I'm like, no. And it was only because like I just felt like, I don't know, I was nervous. I also felt like I just didn't really know all of the panelists like that to, you know, be the moderator. But I ended up doing it, obviously. And what made it easy was me having questions. So Jordan basically typed up all the questions for each person. So that way, you know, I just went through the cards and I asked the questions. And I also was able to give my input as well while asking the questions. So it was really, really cool. Everybody said I did a good job. So moving on to August 8th. So I worked from home and I was working bento. So that means, you know, I pretty much had the free will to do whatever. Bento was the virtual styling that I'm pretty sure I mentioned before. So I really just do my styling quickly and then I move on to other things. So I was able to do like some virtual coffee chats. I had one with a photographer by the name of Leslie, who I was actually on her podcast not too long ago. And then I was also able to have a virtual coffee chat with Mandy, who was one of the women who was a part of the virtual summit with me. And we ended up doing a live segment on Instagram not too long ago. So that was really cool. After that, I had to run to Sephora because apparently I needed some concealer. And then I came back to Jordan's, got myself together, and we made our way to the workshop. Like I mentioned, was the moderator for the panel and ended up being really, really good. It was a little longer than what I expected it to be, but aside from that, it was a great event, y'all. If y'all haven't attended any of the Creatively Mindful events and you're located in Baltimore and the DMV area, definitely make sure you come out to their events. I don't know if they'll be hosting any more for the remainder of 2024. But I know that they plan on hosting more in the year of 2025. So make sure you follow them. I'm going to drop their handle here just to stay connected on all the events that they'll be having. They're more so geared to creatives, entrepreneurs, and artists. So definitely make sure you support them. So yeah, that was a great event. I'm glad I was able to moderate it, although I was nervous. But I ended up doing a really, really great job. So that was that. Okay, so on August 9th, I woke up a little later than I wanted. I was supposed to go to this National Co-working Day that was hosted at Spark Baltimore, but it was a rainy day and I just ended up not feeling like going. So I just stayed in, I worked, and it was a pretty busy day at work. So most of my time was spent doing work, but I didn't really get an opportunity to do much personal work, and I felt some kind of way about that. but it's all good. It was still a productive day nonetheless. Of course, after work, I ended up attending Quenisha's Luxe Elixir making class. So Quenisha, as I mentioned in the past testimonial video, she is the founder of Le Bleu Body Care, which is a Black-owned, women-owned brand that makes perfumes. I believe they're plant-based and just a healthier option to perfumes. So I purchased one of her perfumes, which I'll mention in the next perfume haul that I'll be doing before the year is out. She had one of her first elixir making classes. So that's basically a perfume oil. So I was able to attend her class that evening. Of course, I was a little late because of work, but I really enjoyed the class, y'all. Like, I made this oil that everybody in the room said it smelled very luxurious and like a rich girl smell. So I'm glad, because that was the vibe that I was going for. But I actually haven't worn my oil in a while, but when I first made it, I was wearing it out all day or all the time. So I hope that I can go to another one of her classes. She did host a couple in October, but I just wasn't able to attend because of availability and just not being able to budget for it. But I hope that she hosts more in the new year, because I will definitely attend. And I also want to create my own perfume with her. So I want to collaborate with her in some kind of way. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. We will see how that goes. But aside from that, it was definitely a really, really great time, and it was a lot of cool women in the room that I was able to connect with. And that evening, I got details on the podcast interview with Leslie. So I'm glad that I was able to finalize that. Okay, so on August 10th, it was a busy day, y'all. It was a Saturday, and Jordan's cousin Katrina, she actually invited me to this women's health summit that one of her friends, Genevieve, was hosting, and it was really nice. I can't remember the place that it was at, the name of the place that it was at, but it was right there downtown, right off of 83. And it was beautiful. It was such a nice event. I actually invited both Rhea and Jade because I knew that they would really, really enjoy everything that was being talked about. Jade is in the mental health space, and Rhea is in a completely different space. But I know that she really enjoys learning about women's health, and it's some other type of topic that she's interested in. I can't think of the name of it. But neither one of them came. And when I was there, I'm like, y'all definitely need to be here. But it was a really, really early event, so I get it. I think I had to be there by 8:30. I probably didn't get there till 9 though. But they did offer food. It was free. And I made some cool connections, so it was nice. Aside from that, once I left there, we were actually doing a friend's boat day. So I had to run home, get myself together, change my clothes. I ended up recording some outfit content that I'll pop in here. But we had to make sure that we were downtown in the Canton area by a certain time because we were stopping to get food before we headed to the boat. And then we needed to be at the boat by a certain time. So we made it, of course, but we were still waiting for the boat for a while, maybe like 20 minutes, which was a little off-putting, but I didn't let it get to me. I was just trying to enjoy the day, enjoy the vibes, and literally everybody was there. Rhea was there, Jade was there, Taylor was there, Janae was there, Chuck, Zach brought Michaela, Danny, Jordan, me, and I think that was everybody. Oh, Deja came. So literally everybody was there, y'all. So it was definitely a family celebration. And I'm glad that we could do that. Although the boat wasn't as big as I thought it was gonna be, it was still a nice experience. So I'm glad we could do that. And by the time I got home, I was tired. Of course, after that, we went to Zach's to drink some more and talk and chat and just be together longer. But we didn't stay that much longer at Zach's because we were tired and I was ready to shower and get into bed. But overall, it was a really, really fun day. So on August 11th, Jordan and I slept in a bit. I was really tired from the weekend and just waking up early and doing all the things. But I had to get up because I was working that day and I was working bento. And it was a busy day. I ended up working from the bed because I just didn't feel like getting up. And it was quite a few people responding. So it was definitely busy. And that's a good thing because that means people were actually shopping. I worked until about 4, and then me and Jordan actually went out to get some food, and we enjoyed some happy hour at this place called Italian Disco here in Baltimore City. And it was really good. After that, we went to Harbor Tandoor for a glass of wine, and we ended up watching the closing ceremony of the Olympics. I did not watch the Olympics really much this year at all, y'all. So that was really my first time seeing anything regarding the Olympics, and it was really cute. I think Snoop Dogg performed, Billie Eilish, and a few other people. Although they didn't have the sound on, we were still able to watch it, so it was cool. Harbor Tandoor is also this really good restaurant that sells Indian food that's really good. Our friend Travis actually put us on, and that was our second time going. Of course, they didn't have what we wanted to get there, but we ended up ordering like some wings, I think, which we didn't get a chance to get last time because they were sold out, which means obviously they must be real good. And they were just real spicy, which I love spicy food, but sometimes stuff can be a little too spicy, but it was good. It was definitely good. And then after that, we walked around the water and got some ice cream. So we basically just had an impromptu date night with just us two, which is always nice. But my feet were really hurting. Apparently, I'm trying to figure out what shoes I had on. Probably some flat sandals that just weren't good with walking, but it is what it is. Then when we got back home to Jordan's, ended up just showering and prepping for the day, and I was able to finish the assessment that we had to do for Jade's first aid, mental health first aid. I know it was first aid something, but yes, mental health first aid is the course that she taught, and it basically helps you to know how to respond to any mental health challenges that people around you may be having, which if you work in an environment with other like colleagues or employees, or maybe you're a consultant and one of your clients are having some issues, it gives you the proper tools and resources to know how to respond to stuff like that. So it was a really, really good class. It was an all-day class, and it was the next day. So I'll get into that on August 12th. Okay, so apparently the class wasn't on August 12th, so it's coming up though. But on August 12th, I woke up a little later than I wanted to. I just have been so tired apparently these first couple of weeks in August, but I do need to go to bed sooner, so that's probably why. I actually had a 9:30 appointment with a client, which I don't even know how that time got available. I guess I was making my availability a little earlier so that I could finish up earlier, but y'all, I don't know. Now we like strictly don't start until 10, so that's what my schedule is set at, either 10 or 10:30. This particular appointment, of course, was super long. So our styling appointments for MM LaFleur are only supposed to be 30 minutes. Sometimes we go over a little bit, but it's never something that happens often. But this particular client, she had me on the phone for like an hour, y'all. Probably a little over an hour. I feel like she did shop. Yeah, she did shop, so that's all that matters. But still, that's annoying. But anyway, Jordan brought me breakfast, and I made lunch. My workday wasn't as productive as I wanted it to be, but I still got quite a bit done. I had 2 meetings, followed up and reached out to a few new connections, went for a walk with Jordan, and edited the recap reel for the Luxe Elixir making class. And in my journal, I was just saying that I pray that I can make other classes like that because I really, really enjoy that a lot. And then I sent my friend some Airbnbs for GHO. Although we ended up not going to GHO, this was us kind of preparing and just kind of moving forward with going, but we ended up not going anyway. So hopefully next year we'll be able to go. So on August 13th was the mental health first aid class, y'all. But before I could get into all of that, I had another 9:30 appointment that went over time. I said in my journal, I had to check my availability and take that off because I'm still trying to figure out how 9:30 even became available. But anyway, that 9:30 appointment, of course, went over as well. but thankfully it ended at the time that it did because I had a 10:30 wax appointment that I needed to get to. And the wax place is maybe about 20 minutes from where Jordan lives. So I made it right in time. They have an 8-minute grace period and I got there. My appointment was at 10:30. I was 5 minutes late. So it worked out. So once I got my wax, I actually stopped at Starbucks to get me and Jordan some breakfast and coffee. And then I made it back to his house so that we can sit through the mental health first aid class, which, like I said, was all day from 9 to 5. I think we ended up ending it a little sooner than later, but it was still all day. And apparently it was still a productive day for me. Like, I took the course, but I was also, of course, doing other work because I'm pretty sure, I was clocked in, and I was also doing some personal work as well. At the end of that day, me and Jordan went for we actually didn't go for another walk. I think we just had spent some time together and just talking about different things that I was dealing with and different things that I was going through. So he was able to walk me through those things and just give me some reassurance and just do what boyfriends do. So I was very thankful for him at that point in time. And here I just said that I'm glad I have him and that I love him. So that was August 13th. Oh, and obviously we both became certified in the mental health first aid class. So I posted about that on LinkedIn. And I'm certified. So on August 14th, I was off, and it was also Wealth Warfare Wednesday. So that worked out. I love being off on those days because I could fully focus on just journaling, reading my devotional, and just spending quiet time. And that was the goal for that day. And I also just needed a break. I had been doing a lot of work. I had been doing just a lot in general. So I just needed like a mental break. I believe I watched a sermon. I'm not exactly sure which one it was, but probably a Transformation Church sermon. And I said that it was really good. The woman covered a lot and it was a lot to digest, but it definitely encouraged me to start looking for a therapist, which I've been saying all year, and I started, but then stopped, started, and then stopped. So a goal of mine for 2025 is to actually solidify a therapist, but I was able to solidify a dentist, y'all. So I said in my journal, I was able to schedule an appointment with a dentist, which I'm excited about. It wasn't until September, which was a month later, so I knew that it would come by quickly. But I'm glad that I was able to do that because the dentist that I was working with previously, I just kept having a lot of issues with them, so I'm glad I was able to find a new one. And speaking of, I actually have my actual cleaning scheduled for December, which is next month. And this is a side note, but because I have benefits with my job, I originally was I originally was DMO, which when I went to the dentist for my first time check-in or whatever, they mentioned to me that they would no longer be taking DMO patients. So I said, okay, well, I don't know what I'm about to do. So fast forward, HR reached out and said if now is the time, if you want to change anything regarding your benefits, hop on this call to learn more. So I hopped on a call and I was able to learn how to, that I could get PPO because that's what they were saying that they would be taking as opposed to DMO. So I was able to change my benefits right in time. I think they started this month. So once I go back in December, I'll be good to go. And I shouldn't have to pay out of pocket for anything if I'm not mistaken. But aside from that, they'll still be able to take me because with me being a DMO previously, they weren't going to be able to take my insurance at all. So I then would have had to find a whole nother dentist. And it just would have been a lot because it was already a lot finding that one. So I'm glad I was able to do that and get that done. So I'll be seeing them in December. But aside from that, on this day, I was able to record the June testimonial vlog, which is out now. And I was just thankful that I was able to do that because these testimonials, like I said, have been one of the hardest, most challenging things to record because there's so much content in one video. But what I started doing, which hopefully y'all noticed, is breaking it up. I did start breaking it up in part 2s back in February, but then I'm like, I'm gonna just do one full video and have been doing that since. But I've noticed that it just takes longer for me to do it when I do those, and it's a way longer video. So breaking it up in 2 parts, the 1st through the 15th, and then the 16th through the 30th or the 31st has been very helpful. So that's what I've been doing. I was also able to go on a walk for the 3rd time this week, and I was saying that I hope I'd be able to go, the following day and Friday to just keep the momentum up. I was able to fast or Wealth Warfare Wednesday until noon, and I tuned into the live session at 4:30. I said Raven dropped a lot of gems and I took a lot of notes. And she also mentioned one of the scriptures that I had read that morning in my devotional, which was, I want to say, Hebrews 13:8. So I'll drop that below for y'all to hear and see what that says. But aside from that, it seemed to have been a pretty good day. All right, y'all. So August 15th, I worked from home. I didn't have any appointments, so I focused on my own personal work, administrative things, scheduling emails, sending emails, putting out content, and all the things. I had a hair appointment at 2, and I had decided to get my hair cut down. As y'all can see, my hair has been short for a minute now. I had like the big tapered cut, which I loved, and it looked really cute, but I was kind of getting tired of it. And my friend Jade had just cut her hair short, and I'm like, you know what, let me cut the top off, because I had been contemplating, to be honest, but I just never did it because I loved my hair. Like, I loved the length that it was, and of course every time I thought about cutting it, it looked real good. So I'm like, okay. And it was just like the curls are popping, it was soft, it just looked really nice. But I ended up cutting it short, and I'm glad I did, although nobody noticed, because I've been bald since 2016. So I've had my hair like this multiple times before. I let it grow out, then I'll cut it again, then I let it grow out, then I'll cut it again. So I've been here before, so nothing new. But after that, I went home and I had a meeting with Kate, and then I went straight, Kate is my manager, and then I went straight into a podcast recording with Toné. It went really well, and she seemed like she enjoyed it. I can't remember the topic of conversation for our first podcast episode. Oh, internships. That's what it was about. So that was a fun conversation because Toné had just got back from her internship. So we basically talked about that. And I was just saying in my journal that I was excited to see where this podcast leads. After that, I was supposed to have another podcast interview with Jessica Smith, but she ended up getting caught in traffic and was pushing the time back. She pushed the time back like twice. So I said, you know what, we could just reschedule. I still needed to eat lunch, and I was also kind of tired from the day. So we ended up rescheduling, and I had some other things I had to do too after that. So we ended up rescheduling for another day, and I was perfectly fine with that. That evening, Anisha had invited me over her house or her place. I realized it wasn't her place, and I'm initially, thinking like, oh, we're gonna be at her house. That was the original address she gave me, was her home address. We were gonna be at her house just chilling, and I was excited for the girls' night because it was a busy week, it was a busy day, and I just wanted to decompress and chill. But as I was either right before I left or as I was on my way to her house, she texted me another address, and I'm like, that's weird, but okay. So I went to that address, which ended up being her mom's apartment complex, which is downtown. Really nice, by the way. And went in, and everybody was like, all the girls that were there were sitting in the community room. So everybody had on black. It's funny because when Anisha invited me to the girls' night, I had thought she said, wear your favorite color, which is green, which is also her favorite color. But she actually said, wear black. It was how she worded it. I was just confused. So when I walked in, everybody had black on. And she's like, you didn't follow directions. I'm like, huh? I thought you said wear your favorite color. And she's like, no, I said, don't wear your favorite color. Wear black. I'm like, okay. So I was the only person in there with green, but it's fine. So I sit down in my chair after hugging everybody like, hey y'all, da 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 da. I realized Anisha was standing at the front of the room, and it was like some food up there, and it was balloons and stuff, and it was like little Stanley cups around the room and boxes sitting on a chair. So I'm thinking to myself, I thought this was supposed to be a girls' night. Like, I'm confused. And we get settled, and she's like, all right, y'all, so I brought y'all here tonight because I want y'all to open the boxes on y'all laps. I'm like, okay. So I'm opening the box, and it's basically an invitation to be her bridesmaid. y'all, I had no idea. I really haven't talked to Anisha in a little minute, although, you know, she comes to my events. I see her on social media. We text here and there, but not as often as we used to. So when she asked me to be her bridesmaid, I had no idea this was even happening. I think the other girls in the room she talks to a lot more than me, so they probably already knew what was happening, but I could be 100% wrong. But I was shocked. I was very shocked. I'm like, oh my gosh, I would love to be your bridesmaid. Like, I have never been a bridesmaid, aside from my sister's wedding, but even then I was the matron of honor, I think that's what it's called. And back then I wasn't even 21. I think I was either 20. I don't think I was 21. I was either 19 or 20. I can't remember. But like, I was young. I didn't really know what was going on. That was my first like wedding. And I put it in quotation marks because I wasn't even a bridesmaid. I was a maid of honor, or matron of honor. I don't know. So I didn't really know. I didn't really do much. My sister picked out my dress. She picked out the shoes. I ordered it, and that was that. Like, I wasn't a part of anything. So this is my first like real wedding that I'm a part of. And I was excited to say yeah. So I was very shocked. I was surprised. But I'm excited to be her bridesmaid. I'm excited to see how everything unfolds. We already booked the room. Her wedding will be in Tulum next year. So me and Jordan will be attending. We already booked the room. I actually won't be doing the bachelorette trip because it just ended up not being in my budget. But it's other things that I plan on attending, like the bridal shower and all the things. So looking forward to all of that. But yeah, y'all, I'm gonna be a part of my first wedding, well, as an adult. So yeah, so that was the first 15 days of August, y'all. I will be posting the next 15 days or 16 days. I can't remember how many days are in August, but I'll be posting that very soon, part 2. So stay tuned. I hope you enjoyed this testimonial video. Definitely make sure you subscribe, you comment below, let me know your thoughts, let me know if any of this resonates with you or anything that relates to you. And yeah, I'm excited to finish out this series because it's definitely been a challenge. But aside from that, I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.